Hey, what is up, guys? How are y'all doing? I'm here with Chris Davis from The Ghost Inside, which is still weird for me to say because I know of you from Texas in July.
Yeah,
How are you, dude?
it's weird for me sometimes too.
Yeah, to be in like one of the biggest metalcore bands in the world.
Also, like both bands' abbreviations have a T and an I in it.
Ooh, that is weird.
Kind of weird. I didn't really make too much of a jump in that way.
At least in your band, you probably never get shout out to play old Texas in July songs like Era does right now because of
Are you
JT.
kidding me? I get it all the time.
Really?
In fact, my my first tour with TGI, Vigil would say every night, we have our friend Chris from Texas in July filling in for us.
Well, he's
And
setting himself up for that.
without fail, every time somebody would go, play hook, line, and center.
Okay,
And I'd be like,
that so I've never even heard that
damn it,
song
man.
before, but I
You
know.
have heard that song before because you toured with us.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Fair. Fair.
We say you never listened to my band, man.
Not. It's not your band anymore, bro. I could say
Okay,
that.
that's fair.
I
All right,
did. I
fine.
did used to rip the ever loving Christ out of Texas in July. No, dang it, the Ghost Inside.
There, you went and did it. It's not just me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, same. TGI was a big, like one of my, like a band that I jammed all the time. So it was like super weird to get
Influences.
the phone call. Yeah.
I'm just terrible with song names and titles and stuff in general too.
Same.
I remember the music video with the pool party for the Ghost Inside.
Unspoken.
Ooh, that song went hard.
It's a heater.
Yeah, it's a heater for sure. Well, dude, what's up, man?
Not much. Trying not to let the state of our country/world drag me into too much of a downward spiral, but hanging in there.
Yeah,
How about yourself? How's the pandemic treated you?
it's been weird. I thought today, like, it has almost been an entire year since I've toured, and that kind of got to me.
So crazy.
Like, it's just like I'm getting ready for like tax season coming up, and I have nothing to claim from my band at all, and that's just like really weird. It's like It just feels super uncomfortable.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Like we've been pretty lucky because we released a record this year. So, all the like merch bundles and stuff, like we got some money
yeah,
from that,
yeah,
like back end stuff, but like it's definitely not your normal year of filing taxes. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, right?
Holy crap, man.
Sorry to rock your world immediately in the podcast. I mean, for me, I've been working like full time at a normal job, and I collected unemployment and got taxes taken out of that for like almost a half a year. So like, this is actually be my best tax season ever as far as I've like lived.
What does that say about the life of a musician? Either the pandemic year was your best year financially.
Yeah, well, not. Jeez. Yeah, it's strange, man. It's really weird.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
Do you guys? I mean, nobody knows what they're doing for sure, but do you guys have like stuff tentatively on the books for next year?
Oh, I don't. Talk about, well, we're so wrapped up in the release of the album that, like, and I feel like every time we have a date planned for even that, like even time we plan on a single rolling out, even it gets like backdated some. It's like just really, really weird. Yeah, I'm just, no one hold their breath, I guess. It's really weird.
Yeah, pretty much. That's where I'm at.
Yeah. But I mean, we just threw a party at our house for Halloween, and we had Jake, who is the drummer of Gideon.
Yeah. I love that guy.
And we had actually, it was really funny. So like 4 different couples came. It was Alex, the drummer of our band, Jake, the drummer of Gideon, and this dude named Will, who drummed for this band called Nothing Till Blood. So it was just me and a bunch of drummers and their girlfriends, which is so funny. But
you would end up in that circle.
Yeah, of course. But we all definitely sat around at one point. We were like, "Are we ever touring again?" Like, this is really weird,
dude. It's so depressing to think about.
We all came to the conclusion that we think it'll be 2022. Honestly, like.
That's where I'm at. My buddy Brian Storm runs the YouTube channel Rock Feed.
Okay.
And he he'll text me like a couple times a week, and we've been chatting a lot about this. He like really thinks that shows are going to come back next year, and like technically TGI has stuff on the books, but like
okay,
I don't see that. I'm not confident. I'm hopeful, but I'm not confident.
Here's
And
the
I
thing:
think
is that like shows are happening right now, but they're like
sure
awkward, spaced out car shows or like
Right.
drive-in shows for
Right.
for
And I
our
think
genre.
our genre where people have to be like part of the experience is like being right up on top of each other and like
Yeah,
climbing on
dude.
each other, and like that stuff's not coming back for a while. I mean, I don't want to say that because I don't want to like bum anybody out that's supposed to come see us next year, because I don't know anything. It could happen still, but like my gut feeling after watching how this whole year played out is that we won't get that lucky next year.
I just saw it today. I literally need to get off the news because it just sends it like when I was younger, I would say that news depressed me, but now I actually get like heavily affected. And I think coming from like a vegetarian and like a super environmentally aware dude, I think there's a new strain of COVID that was just found in like mink farms in like Europe or something. So it's like if people would just stop wearing mink, or like it's just like so unnecessary, and like just the news of that might just be such a depressing thing to hear.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
It's just like the fucking plague is like popping back up in like China or Japan or some shit.
And like we're pretty sure that it all started from like a meat factory or something. Like
yep, exactly. So what the fuck? And I'm a meat eater, so I'm guilty here.
Yeah, I mean you're not guilty.
I mean I am, but like it's like
you're guilty of
man.
of following our economy and social guideline. Like it's just like it's so inbred in our spines at this point.
Right.
Because I mean, even me, like I'm a vegetarian, but half the shit I eat are hamburgers and chicken that I like because I want that food, I want that sensation because it's so weird. I don't want to get into that though.
Okay, all right, we can get off that topic.
We'll go back into it. I just want to generally catch up with your life and how's the kid?
Great. He's getting fucking big and turning into a real human being, and it's
scary,
terrifying, and exciting all at the same time.
Yeah,
it's so awesome. But every day I'm like, you're getting way too fucking smart, man. This is horrifying. And I have another one coming in like 2 months.
I thought that. Yeah, I couldn't remember if I had that right.
Yeah, little girl coming in January, so that's.
We did talk about that because we talked about last time I saw you. We talked about how terrifying it is to have a girl and how I share that sentiment.
Yes. You somebody told me that when you have a boy, you only have to worry about one boy. When you have a girl, you worry about all the boys.
Oh, yes, dude. That's the perfect way to word that.
Mind.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where my head's at with that, and it's fucking scary.
You're gonna be the dad with a shotgun on the first date, dude. Yeah, I get it. I get it, bro.
My wife is a hard ass though, so if our daughter comes out anything like her, I'm not even gonna have to worry about it, but I'm still gonna stress either way.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I feel the same way. Like, I don't want a daughter so bad, even though like I do.
Do you want kids though?
Yeah, I do. I want kids.
Okay. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, it's scary, dude.
The daughter thing is scary though. It is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm glad you say that because like my lady, she's like, I want a daughter. I don't want a son because they're fucked up little twerps. It's like, I mean, yeah, I get that.
That's fair too.
Yeah.
I want a daughter. But I'm fucking scared of it.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm fucking scared.
Well, what have you been filling your time with? Are you recording bands or?
Yeah, I've been trying to record bands anyway. When this whole pandemic thing started, I like shut everything down for a while.
Yeah.
Just because we have a kid in the house, you know what I mean? And then my wife got pregnant. It's like, well, I definitely coming in and like potentially getting her sick. So maybe a month or 2 months ago, I started having some bands back, and I was doing some like remote mixing sessions and stuff.
Oh, that's cool. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then some like editing, and like I attempted to do some like tracking through the internet and shit, like remote sessions, which was a fucking nightmare. Like the technology's there, but it's like only like 90% there. So when it works, it's great. but like when it doesn't work, it's a goddamn nightmare.
How would they just record their own stems or in DIs and send them to you? Or
there's this plugin called Audio Movers.
Okay.
And you put one plugin on my side, and they put a plugin on their side, and it creates a like link to stream through the internet from their computer to yours. And so they're tracking on their side, but it's recording into my computer.
Okay. Whoa.
Yep.
Real quick, which DAW do you use?
I use Studio One because I'm a weirdo. Okay. But I also fuck with Pro Tools, and you can do it with any DAW. It's just,
I've done this podcast enough to know no one uses one program. It's actually hilarious. Yeah. So it basically turns Studio One into like a shareable like Google file, like kind of.
Essentially, it literally makes like a web link, and it like streams the audio through the web link into the plugin on your computer and records it onto a track.
Oh, that's so weird.
And it's cool when it works.
Right. I mean, that
at the mercy of everybody's internet connections at that point.
Yeah.
And so like,
dude, that's one thing that's driving me crazy about 2020 is that we have this crazy technology at everyone's disposal, but then like my internet provider like almost has a monopoly in my state, and it fucking sucks.
What internet provider do you have?
Spectrum. Yeah. And so like in Alabama, I have no choice but to have shitty internet, even though I do all this stuff that's like super internet intensive.
Well, it's the same thing here. I mean, we have Xfinity.
Oh wait, do you have Charter around where you're at?
No.
Oh wow. Okay, never mind.
We have Xfinity or Comcast, whatever the fuck. And then
I've heard it's terrible too.
It's pretty shot, and the only other option is like Verizon Fios, but you like unless you live in like a big like rich neighborhood, they don't. Like it's not an option. Yeah, so like we're stuck with Comcast. We don't have a choice.
And then like random places will have like I can't even think of what it's called right now.
Like fucking fiber.
Yeah, like a random ass Ohio city will have fiber.
Well, I took some guitars to a tech that I go to all the time the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, our town, like right up the street, which is smaller than the city I live in, just got fiber like 6 months ago." I'm like, "What?"
So stupid, man? Dude. So dumb.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I
great
get
for
600
them, but, like,
megabytes a second.
Sense.
Yeah. It's so stupid.
I get 600 megabytes a second.
I don't. I do not get near that.
I mean,
it's okay. It's no one's fault. Just know if we ever try to remote record together that
I don't imagine that'll ever happen.
Oh, okay. Thanks, dude.
You guys work with big dogs. I'm just Joe Schmo.
What if I'm doing like a solo thing? Come on, dude. Give me.
I mean, I would do that.
There. Thank you.
I would love to do.
Well, this podcast is over. My feelings are hurt.
I mean, that took longer than I expected. If I'm being completely honest.
So I always have like little cliff notes under the guest, and today is Chris Davis is really shot. Can really break down. Because as long as I've known Chris, we have called each other shot. Don't know why.
We've never been nice to each other.
Never, not once.
I don't know.
I love you, but fuck you.
I mean, I love you too, but yeah, I also fucking hate you. You're the worst person I've ever met.
We do like each other, for those who think that I don't actually like Chris.
You're just fun to rip on, and you do it back, so it's fun.
I do. That's why it's fun, because I'm pretty sure I've had moments with you in public places where like a bandmate was like, "What just happened?"
I'm sure.
Are you okay?
I'm sure.
So yeah, I love that guy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think that anybody who doesn't know us that witnessed an interaction like that would think that there's some sort of beef for sure.
Right. So good. Yes. And then it says can really break down. I couldn't really think of anything else,
I mean, that's all I do now.
Yeah.
I used to like kind of riff. Now I just play breakdowns and chords.
You posted that picture of you like talking about how long you've been playing ESP, which blew my mind.
Yeah.
You looked very dramatically different. I actually never even knew you. I never knew you with long hair. I think when we first toured together, you had just cut it. I think I heard someone say that.
We toured together in the spring of 2014. I think the first time, or the only time. That would have been the only time, I think.
Yeah, that was the only time we ever toured together.
And I cut it I cut my hair like 4 months before that, probably.
So
yeah, you never got to see the locks.
No, I didn't.
I mean, to be fair, I've only ever seen your bald head, so I don't know what's like under there.
I mean, it's been a bald head for a long time.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I might as well have just been born this way with a beard and no hair.
The funniest thing about that old picture to me is that it's not the hair, it's just that now I look like the guy who ate the guy in
Okay, bro. I wasn't gonna say that.
Oh, but it's true.
I was gonna say you looked like a shredder. Like you looked like the dude who tried to sweep every Protest the Hero song and like.
I definitely cared way more about that kind of guitar playing back then than I do now.
Do you think I'm sure you feel this way too, though, because I think of myself that way. Like when I think of myself at like 15 or 16 years old, I was like, man, I was shredding. But then like, I'm so much cleaner now. Like I was probably just attempting to shred to the best of my abilities when I was younger. You know what I mean?
Oh, I was definitely attempting.
Yeah.
I was definitely, but I also like. I always aspired to be more of like a James Hetfield than a Kirk Hammett. Or if you know what I mean? Like I cared more about being.
I think Dave Mustaine
with my right
is far superior than both of those guitar players still, though.
Well, we're not going to go down that road.
Okay, fair.
Because then it's going to get personal.
All right,
we might start hurting feelings. Mm-hmm. No, that's fair. To be fair, I like genuinely respect Mustaine as a player. I've just never been able to deal with his singing. That's literally the only thing that kills Megadeth for me.
Yeah, fair.
So like, yeah, so back then I definitely cared way more about trying to like, I want this riff to be hard or sound hard or like whatever. And now I just don't care anymore.
It's got to be on that. Got to be on the metronome on that click and hit it well.
I just care more about like the song as a whole than like, playing super hard riffs. You know what I mean? And it's like it's also got to the point where like my old local band was very classic, like super classic metalcore, like As I Lay Dying type metalcore. And like jumping up to playing Texas stuff was like a lot of work for me, and I had to practice it a lot. And now that I don't do it all the time, it's like, dude, fries me fast. I have to like keep up with that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I do too. I have to practice old era.
You have it even worse than I do. You guys play even harder shit than we did.
Kinda.
No, definitely.
Yeah. I just did a guitar lesson today, and I was talking. Because every time I do a guitar lesson, I just break down what we're doing to like incredibly simplified. And then it just like in my head, it's like, this shit's simple. I'm like, this is easy. Well,
yeah, I mean, when you take the time to break it down like that, as an average listener and you're sitting there.
But I don't think Era and Text in July was too far from each other. You know what I mean? And this...
No, but I would say that you were definitely like another rung up.
Okay, I'll take it.
You and Jesse are far more superior guitar players than anybody who's ever been in Texas in July.
Okay. Thanks.
Just take it, man.
I'll take it. Well, it's funny too, is a lot of people love old Era for technicality, but our new shit is way harder on me. And it's like a lot of people don't realize that.
I feel like maybe is it because I feel like it hasn't gotten less technical. I feel like it's like more calculated now. Like it's more more well arranged, I should say.
Yeah. Well, it's not even I'm talking like just hard. Sheer guitar playing. Like our old stuff was fast and aggressive, but our new stuff is like two-hand taps, string skips, hybrid picking, like low register. Yeah, like it's like way harder on a guitar player than it was. Like I can just do a fast chug breakdown all day, and that's like all our old stuff was. And people are like, you're not technical anymore, and I'm like, dude, you don't know what technical is, bro. Like
here, you play.
Yeah, there's a lead in some of our songs, like just like the classic meme of me not even using a pick because I'm just tapping.
Yep.
Like
what's track 1 on Drift?
I think it's Luminous. I could.
Yep. Yeah. That's it. Yep. And I feel like the first time I saw you guys on tour on that album, you were telling me you weren't playing it that night, and you were so stoked because you hated playing the tapping part.
Well, by the tapping part, you mean the entire 4-minute song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
And there's like lots of parts where it's just me and a click live doing that, and it's like,
That's what you get for not being the guitar player that sings. You should have just sung, and then
Yeah, man, you're not wrong. You are not wrong, bro. But some of the rhythms he has to pull off while singing is actually insane too. It's just crazy.
Yeah, he's also a crazy person.
That's but then we go. Let me throw some back your way. Then we go see like a band like Acacia Strain or The Ghost Inside play live, and they have way sicker sets, and we're like, why do we play guitar like we play? It's like...
I had moments like that in Texas too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's so weird. I was thinking about this yesterday. We had like a 1, maybe 2 year time period where I feel like we like reached our peak where we weren't big, but like every tour we did was like pretty successful for us.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we started there was like a very obvious shift in like what was popular. And we started seeing bands like Volumes and stuff come into like being more in the forefront.
Yeah.
And like we did two tours with Volumes. One where they were playing before us, and then the next tour they were after us, and it was like, we can't even fucking argue with this. Like, their band is still technical, but it's like leans more to like the heavy.
I remember what was it? Via? Is that what came out?
Yeah. So we toured them the first time on Via, and they were getting ready to do the next record the second time we toured with them, and it's just like it became less about the technicality and more about like the heavy groove stuff. Yeah. And it's like we just couldn't keep up. And it was like very obvious that our like style of music was like out of here.
So funny, man. So funny how it works. I mean, right now is like the instrumental age, it seems. Like Pliny, Chan, Intervals, Polyphia. They're just quickly became huge bands. It was insane.
Oh,
which as
specifically Chan, I feel like Chan like blew up the fastest.
Yeah.
Like, that whole circle of bands.
And then Animals as Leaders has just been this Goliath, yeah. But then like as a musician who like really just like I pride myself of just being a guitar player more than like the guitar player of a band, I guess.
Sure.
It's a cool thing to watch. And it's cool to watch people like appreciate the instrument for like actually what it can do.
Right.
It's cool.
Yeah. It's definitely a really cool time for music just in general right now. But yeah, you're right. Like there's definitely a resurgence of people just being interested in guitar for guitar's sake.
Yeah, it's cool.
Which is fucking cool. And I think that like weirdly enough, the pandemic like fully played into that. So I feel like there's so many people that are just like downtime, let's play guitar. Oh, look at all these dudes ripping.
Dude, straight up. And I've had like a decent amount of students over the quarantine. Just like I hate doing it. I shouldn't say that. I don't hate doing it. I enjoy doing it. It's just harder. It's harder on me to teach a completely fresh student than it is to teach an intermediate guitar player. Because then I can just like riff with that person. Like I can just be like, how's this technique? This is cool. This is what we've been. And then, you know, EADGBE is like.
Hey man, I give you all the props in the world because I'm just not confident enough in my guitar skills to teach somebody. And I don't think I'm patient enough for that either.
Fair. I do love teaching. And teaching makes me a better player too, because I'm learning and working on everything any of my students are. So it's like that alone would keep me teaching for sure.
Right. That's like, I know I mentioned to you earlier before we got on the call, like starting a Twitch, but that's like part of it for me too, is like I've spent more time recording other people playing guitar this year than playing
yourself.
Myself.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I feel like I need to give myself like somebody to check me and be like, you need to play some guitar today.
Yeah.
So like might as well fucking do it on a stream and just hold myself accountable.
Are you watching any other guitar player? Well, you mentioned what's his name from Day to Remember?
Yeah,
right?
So Neil.
Yeah.
Neil, and then there's a dude named Young Gun. I've been watching his stream. He plays Rocksmith.
Yeah, he's just a Twitch guitar player, right? It's
fucking crazy.
I've watched. Is that the bald guy?
No, he's got
That's
like
another
bluish
dude.
hair.
Okay, yeah.
He's like sight reading everything off of Rocksmith.
Yeah,
and, like nailing it all. And it blows my fucking mind.
There's a couple dudes. I go through like the music page on Twitch.
Yeah,
and there's a couple dudes I watch, and some of their guitars are so sick, and I'm just like, you have that guitar to play on Twitch, and it's kind of sick.
Hey, I mean, good for them.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's awesome.
Fucking good for them. Yeah, I watched like Matt Heafy's stream every now
Oh
and then
yeah,
too.
yeah.
He's like the god of the
Yeah.
fucking Twitch guitar world right
He
now.
is, dude.
So
I
he's a
watched the
legend.
Trivium live stream on Twitch and it was insane.
I haven't seen it.
It was
I didn't
crazy.
get to see it.
Yeah.
It was. I'm sure it was.
Did you
fucking
watch
awesome.
BT Bams? Because that was freaking sick too.
I did watch that.
Man,
one.
so sick.
Yeah, I'm super stoked for the Architects one.
Ooh, that will be really sick too.
Live at Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah,
it's gonna be insane.
That is awesome. That's cool, man. I'll be in on your channel. That'll be fun.
You better be. You won't be. You hate me.
I'm gonna be calling you shot every 3 seconds. What are you talking about?
Well, all right, I'll take it.
Well, while we're talking about like where we were at younger years and stuff, tell me like what kind of got you into guitar? Or, like, was Metallica a big one for you, or what got you into the genre, stuff like that?
Yeah. So Metallica was like the main reason that I started playing music in the first place. But I actually started as a drummer.
Same.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I started playing drums in like 4th grade. Just in like band in school.
Yeah.
And then my mom got me a drum set for Christmas one year, and it kind of just took off from there. Just started playing classic.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you take like lessons and stuff too?
I took like a total of like maybe a month of lessons.
Okay.
And I did the same thing when I started playing guitar. Like I just.
I mean, it's kind of amazing what you can gather from a month though, because you get the basics.
Right. Yeah, so I took like a month, but it's just like I never had teachers that like were willing to teach me what I wanted to learn. And it was the same with guitar. It was like they had their agenda and like that was it. It's like didn't matter what I was into. So I always just self-taught everything. A lot of the time it would just be like finding a record that I like really liked and just jamming along to it. So in the beginning, it was like I literally was just playing through the entire Metallica discography every single day after school. From the time I got home to the time my parents were like, "All right, it's fucking 8:00 at night, and we've had enough drums. Like, shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
So that started, and I had an uncle that played guitar, and he was like a big Zakk Wylde fan. And
I went through that. I listened to my fair share of Black Label Society for sure.
Yo, Black Label's sick. Zakk Wylde's sick.
He is a sick guitar player, but he's a meme too. Like, his pentatonic riffs and squealies.
Yeah, but I think that he just leans into that now.
Yeah, he does for sure. Yeah.
You know, so it's like that doesn't bother me. That's just his brand. Whatever.
And the dude definitely played for Ozzy, which is so sick. Like,
right.
Yeah.
And so he started taking me to like Ozfest and stuff, and like he's like my hero, you know. So I picked up a guitar and just like started noodling around on my own, and then I don't even remember. I got to like high school and somebody's like, "Yo, do you want to start a band?" And I was like, "I'll play guitar."
Really? You picked guitar over drums when you tried to start a band? Okay.
Yep. I mean, I played in a couple bands prior to that playing drums, and I just like got bored.
Yeah.
I felt like I was I like reached my peak of playing with drums, and I had like guitarists that I like, even when I was still playing drums in band, I'd be like, I'm hearing a riff like this, and I'd like take the guitar from them and try to figure it out. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm like contributing more than our guitar players are right now. So maybe I should just play guitar in the band. You know what I mean? And then once I played my first show playing guitar, it's like, well, there's just no going back now.
Yeah.
I don't think I could sit.
It's definitely an easier instrument to maintain. I think.
Yes.
Breaking cymbals is like
cheaper.
Breaking cymbals as a young teenager is like one of the most hopeless feelings ever, because you're like,
dude,
Dad, please.
My drum set was constantly in shambles because I was just like, what fucking like 13-year-old kid can afford to go buy a whole new set of something? You just can't.
Yeah.
But I can afford a pack of strings.
Yes, you can. Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, drums in the early days, and I started playing shows at like 11 years old.
Whoa, that's crazy. That's way earlier than me.
I had all of my friends were older than me. They were all like in high school and stuff when I was in middle school, and they were like, hey, we need a drummer, so come play with us. And luckily, I have young parents who are just like super laid back and super supportive, and they're like, yeah, we'll drive you to wherever the hell you need to go next weekend, just for you to play to 10 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I never really thought about that actually. Like just now, like thinking of the shows that I play now and the shows I played then, like if I had a kid, I don't know if I would have driven my kid to some of these insane warehouses and bars that my dad did for me. So that's like a huge shout out to him.
Right. Like, I mean, I'm obviously going to support my kids and whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I have to imagine that after a couple times of doing that, my parents had to be like, don't know how many more of these I want to spend my time at.
Yeah.
But they were always so cool. And yeah, I mean, there was never a point where I was like I I didn't go to fucking school, like college, because I was like, you know, I'm gonna stay home and try to like do the band thing full time. And my parents were never like, that's a bad idea. They were just like, your life, man. Make it happen or don't.
Yeah.
Crazy. Super lucky and super
were you in like high school band all the way through?
Yeah. So I played like percussion and drums and like jazz band and stuff all the way through school.
So you stayed drums in the band, but then playing guitar at home.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm like not like theory smart at all when it comes to guitars. Like it's all by ear and feel.
Yeah.
Like I can read music just because of how long I spent in band in school, but like you ask me to apply it to the guitar and it's going to take me a minute. You know what I mean? I'm not like a whiz kid that's like, oh yeah, I got it. It's not going to happen. But I can read it if you put it in front of me.
Yeah. I don't even know if I could anymore, actually.
I'd probably,
if I had like a month to like brush up on everything, I could probably get it. But like that month will never need to come. So it's like
right, exactly. Yeah, that's never going to happen. Yeah, no.
Unless someone like right now was like, hey, we have a really sick gig for you to play guitar in an orchestra and you'll get paid and shows could happen right now. I would learn how to read music in a heartbeat for sure.
Yeah, I'd probably just memorize it though.
Okay. You would just walk around. You would skip that whole section.
I would probably just memorize it, if I'm being honest with you.
I think I still carry that fear I had in high school where they're like, you have to learn how to read music or you'll do nothing in life as far as music is concerned.
I had a teacher like that.
Yeah. You hear it for sure.
It was the fucking band teacher that was there my like freshman and sophomore year of my high school that like I signed up for AP Music Theory, and even though I was acing everything, he told me because I didn't know how to play a noted instrument that I was never going to be successful in music.
Bro, my band teacher, I goofed off a lot. I think I got duct taped all the way around my body like a mummy. This is okay,
I mean,
wait. This full story needs to be told.
Okay.
Which, by the way, I dropped out of high school. I didn't even make it through high school before I started pursuing music. So
fair enough.
I'm at least a peg dumber than you for sure,
or smarter.
So one day, I remember this day. Like I carry this day with me. Like it has weight. I
can't wait.
We had a visit from the Navy band, the Navy jazz band at our school. Band was taken very seriously at my high school. I think when I was there, we had 350 members of our concert band alone.
Holy shit, dude. We couldn't even keep like 50 in our school.
Yeah, it was taken extremely seriously. We marched in the New York Macy's Day Parade for Thanksgiving.
That's sick.
I think I biked down a path in front of my old high school still, and they just redid an entire section of the school for the creative arts and band. Like they take it so seriously.
Right.
So we had the cool opportunity. This is when I was a drummer still. I think I was playing guitar, but I don't know. I've always just tried to. I think I was taking drums more seriously because it was in school. I was on the drum line or whatever.
Right.
And the Navy band came, and the drummer was this big Puerto Rican dude, and he just laid down like these fat Latin beats with polyrhythms. And at that age, I was like, "What?" It was literally like Matt Garska just sat down and started shredding in front of me.
Right. Blowing your mind.
It was insane. And I still know one of those beats, which is like my like claim to drum fame at this point. Like I'll sit down at the kit when like Alex's kit and like lay down that fat Puerto Rican beat, and he's like, just okay, one beat, yeah, that's all I got. That's all I got, bro. And we like sessioned out drums all day that day. And then it was like a really chill day because we weren't doing school band. Like it was like the Navy band. And a friend wrapped me in duct tape. And the band director came in and he got pissed off and he took scissors to the tape and cut my shirt off. And he was fucking pissed, dude. He like ruined one of my favorite local band shirts that I was wearing.
He was pissed that he ruined your shirt?
I guess he was mad that he tried to fix the situation and it backfired on him. I think he's like kind of embarrassed, but he's just pissed off at me that it happened. And he's like, "You'll never do anything with music." And he said that in front of the Navy band. And I was just crushed. And now I'm like the only dude I know from my entire high school that does anything relative to music at all.
I can't imagine why he would maybe not take you serious. I don't know. Doesn't sound realistic to me.
Yeah. Hindsight, you know?
That's crazy. Yeah, I don't know many other people from like my high school that went on to do like much music related stuff either.
I think I know a couple dudes who went on to like drum corps, like that kind of that world, which is a crazy world to me.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It absolutely is.
Yeah. And then I think a couple of them may teach at other music schools or whatever, but
right.
Yeah, there's definitely no like hidden pop stars.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I also like went to school in like a super small like redneck town. I mean, not that I have to tell you, Mr. Southerner, but
yeah, Alabama's rules, man.
But yeah, I mean, our claim, we have like a few like NFL players and like NBA players.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Our high school, and then there's like me. It was just hilarious because on it's not there anymore. I actually just looked the other day, but on the school's like Wikipedia page would have like notable alumni, and it'd be like
nice.
So and so NBA player, so and so NFL player, Chris Davis, Texas in July. And it's like one of these things is not like the other. One of these things is
That's
not like
funny, dude.
It's not there anymore though.
Yeah.
Somebody clearly was like, that doesn't
this one's got to go. It was an old bitter teacher with tenure. He's just like
probably.
Yeah.
There's a very good chance.
Yeah. God, that's so funny. God, we just went off on a crazy tangent.
Yeah, we did.
I had to tell an embarrassing story of myself.
Well, I appreciate that. Anything to embarrass you.
Yeah. One day I'll go back to my school wrapped in duct tape. And I'm like,
is that teacher still there?
He actually retired last year.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and the middle school teacher, who has always been like a huge encouragement to me, like we're still friends on Facebook, he actually took over, so I'm like stoked.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. That's good shit.
Yeah, it's good shit. So sorry. What other bands were you like riffing when you were like really diving into your instrument and getting to know it and stuff?
Well, so like I said, I had a bunch of older friends that got me into like heavy music because my first like love with music was Michael Jackson.
Oh,
like
cool.
I wasn't into rock stuff at all. Like when I was little, it was all about pop for me. And then my dad like played the Black Album for me for the first time, and like my mom would play like Def Leppard and shit for me, and like that would start to like skew my what I was into. And then I met two very specific friends that were like a good bit older than me that were in my first bands ever with me, and my buddy Darren sent me My Last Serenade by Killswitch Engage.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, like this is another level. And I actually heard that before I heard like Slipknot or anything like that. And I didn't even like, Slipknot's usually like that gateway band for people to get into like heavier shit, and it's like Killswitch was it for me. So Killswitch was one where I started being like, okay, I'm actually paying more attention to the guitar riffs in this band.
Oh yeah. Doing. Especially being gravitating towards guitar.
Right.
A guitar centered band is like really cool to hear.
Yep. And then it was a lot of like the classic metalcore bands of that time period for me that like really drew me from drums and guitar. The Azalea Dyings, the Shadows Falls, the God Forbids, like all those bands.
Oh, I forgot about Shadows Fall. Holy crap. I definitely listened to them a lot.
Like all those bands that were like kind of shifting the heavier world at that time were like all of them were like guitar-centric, guitar-based bands, and like right at the time that I was starting to get really interested in that stuff. So that was like everything that I was listening to at that time, pretty much.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, very metalcore driven, especially being like introduced. Like I was introduced through like I didn't even like screaming until I heard Under Oath. Because I was on like the softer, more emo side of it. I was like Taking Back Sunday. Yep. Thrice was huge for me.
You want to know what's fucked is I'm like a recent Thrice fan,
which is
I like
fair.
I like Blew It. I like missed that whole thing, and now I'm going back and I'm like, what the fuck was I like? How did I?
Yeah, miss this? Yeah.
It's going out because it's like I have like. I know the albums are not new, but they're new to me. So
yeah,
I have like a bunch
well, that's cool. I'm jealous of that because I would love to rediscover Visu and the Alchemy Index for the first time.
Right.
But it's definitely like a cult following band for sure.
Yes.
It's which is cool to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a hipster metalcore band, kind of. So weird.
Very weird.
Yeah.
They've like taken such a drastic shift in their music too,
and they're still huge. Like they get bigger with every album, and they do really well. I love their new stuff.
Yes, his voice is absurd.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's so good. But yeah, so I just got like thrust into like that like early 2000s like 2010s
like real aggression and high energy.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yep. And it just like that was my shit. And then fucking I'm gonna get roasted for this because of Texas, but like when Thrill Seeker came out,
the
ABR record, it was like, well, and then Messengers, it was like, well, this is a fucking game changer. And then I ended up joining a band that everybody said we were just ripping off ABR all the time. So
yeah,
I mean but it's like that. They were a fucking gigantic influence for me, and I know all the other guys too. And so it's like they were so inbred into our DNA as players that like even though we were trying not to sound like them, like it would still inevitably just come out in one way or shape or form. Hugely influential band for me.
Yeah, same. I mean, Messengers was huge, and then Constellations was like the more edgy melodic album from them, and that took me. That like really brought me in. That album was insane to me. But yeah, I mean those dudes. I've toured with them way too many times at this point, but they know. I've admittedly been like, your band was huge for me when I was younger. It's crazy.
Oh, I went Texas did a couple tours with them, and I did the same thing at some point. And on every tour, I would get one of the guys to be like, "Yo." I'm trying not to be that guy, but like I'm also that guy. I fucking love your band.
Sickest dudes ever. I love those guys.
Yeah, best guys.
Best guys. When did Tidge start? How old were you?
Well, I'm not an original member, but so I think the band started in 2007.
That's crazy.
I want to say, but those guys were like super young. Like Alex, the original singer, when I met him in 2009, was like 16 or 17 or something, and they were already like full-blown weekend warriors, like weekend trips touring to Canada and shit.
Yeah,
like, they were like already hitting it hard by that point. I think that when I joined in 2010, Alex had just turned 18 and had just graduated high school, and we were already like touring full-time at that point.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah,
I mean, it exists. Super young. Some of those Sumerian bands we toured with, like, I mean, Born of Osiris, My Icy Stars, those dudes were like in high school, just signed to a pretty big label touring. It was so crazy.
Yep. Though that was also just like, I feel like a trend for a moment there, because I feel like I remember Attack being like the same way too.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Caleb was like 16 or some shit when Attack blew up, and they were just like on tour. And now, I mean, now he's still fucking killing it with
he is.
But I feel like that was just like a trend for that time period of music. Like it was, every band was just getting younger. Fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Now I feel like we're shifting back the other way a little bit.
Yeah, you have to be at least 30 something to be cool in the scene.
Right. Yeah. Fine by me, because I'm hitting that. So maybe this is my moment to shine.
Yeah, super fair. That's funny. I never thought about that either.
It's fine by me. It's fucking working in my favor now.
No. That's funny. Do you write for The Ghost Inside?
I mean, I had a little bit of input on this record, but Andrew was the main songwriter for
Yeah,
this
he
record.
does like he's like a
Dude, he's a freak of nature.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with Adam with Texas. Like, Adam doesn't play guitar, but like Adam hears riffs in his head and he'll just like hum them to you and have you figure them out, or he'll like tab it out. Like, he's a fucking freak. So
Yeah.
Adam was like, even though he wasn't holding the guitar to write it, was still like heavily
writing parts.
influenced
That's
in
so crazy.
Right. And so now I'm in a band with Andrew, and Andrew is also a guitar player. And I always tell people it's very frustrating when the best guitar player in your band is your drummer.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a freak, man. He's just good at everything he does. And
I followed him on Instagram for a while just because it was cool to watch him play guitar on Instagram. It was just like,
dude, he's a freak, man.
Yeah.
His solo stuff is sick. He was an original member of that band For the Fallen Dreams.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He started that band with their guitar player Jim.
That's actually crazy.
He wrote a ton of the material on those first two Rise releases.
I'm sure there's people watching right now that's like, duh, everyone knows that, but that's insane to me.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, so For the Fallen Dreams is his baby, and he came into TGI and he brought material to the table, but Aaron was always the main songwriter, the guy that I replaced in the band. And so when Aaron left, it kind of made room for Andrew to step in and be like here's what I can bring to the table for the band. And so what you hear on this record is like 99% Andrew with like the rest of us sprinkled in different places.
Yeah.
Like, I have a riff here, a riff there. Like, I would be like, yo, you see that chord you're doing there? Why don't you change it to this chord?
Yeah.
Like adding to what he had already brought to the table.
Yeah.
Like, he was definitely the main contributor on this record.
That's sick. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Those multi-instrumentalists, dude. Like, I can play other stuff, but I'm definitely not a multi-instrumentalist. Like, I'm no Jacob Collier or whatever his name is.
Right. And like, so I started as a drummer, but I'm like so far removed from being practiced at that I like wouldn't consider myself a drummer at this point. I can like give like suggested drum outlines or whatever, like for when I'm producing bands, but like I'm not a drummer. Andrew is just good at everything.
Yeah.
He's sick drummer, sick guitar player. He fucking makes like sick synthwave shit too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He like literally do like literally anything he wants.
What an asshole.
Yeah, I know. I fucking hate him. I hope he watches this. I fucking hate you.
That's so funny.
Yeah, no, he's the man, and he's just super talented. I feel like he's like weirdly underrated for how talented he is.
Yeah, sure.
I
mean, he's in a massive band.
But I still don't think he gets enough credit.
Right, yeah. Like, people just think, like, I mean, to be fair, I only thought of him as the Ghost Inside's drummer. You like, when you see things on surface level, like, how else am I supposed to assume he's like this musical genius and does all this stuff?
It just comes to him like so effortlessly. And he's like, over the past couple years since the accident, like, he's like done a little bit of ghostwriting for like bigger bands.
Whoa.
So he's not just doing stuff for us. Like, he's been like dabbling in that stuff too.
Which, like, every member of every band's having to do that stuff right now too. Just
absolutely. I mean, well, we don't really have any other choice right now.
Yeah, super fair.
But yeah, it was just like sitting back and watching Andrew and like Will Putney go through like the pre-production phase of our record and like sit down and like get into a groove where they didn't even have to fucking talk to each other. They would just be like, oh, you know what we need for this next part? And then like Andrew would play something in and Will would be like, yep, that's it.
I bet you could lock those two in a room, which there's a couple of like people in the scene that I think of. Like Grant and Carson now, after working with them, it's just like, you can just lock some people in a room for like a year and then they'd probably just put out the most insane metal content you'd ever hear in your life, just because like they live and breathe it at this point.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Crazy.
Grant and Carson are also insane with that.
Yeah.
Like Grant, for that last Texas record, Grant was like basically the fifth member of our band because we didn't have another guitar player, and So he would help me and Adam write guitar parts, and
Which
it's just like,
it's so funny. Every time someone's like, "Who's Grant and Carson? Like, who'd you guys record with?" I just send them Galactic Empire, and I was like, "These are these guys," because that shit shreds, bro.
it's so good.
It's
dude.
so sick.
And that's all fuck. You know what's fucked is Grant figures all that shit out by ear, and
Yeah,
that
that's
just stresses me out, man.
that gives me
perfect pitch
anxiety
shit
for sure.
Stresses me out. Yeah. Like, dude, you shouldn't be able to hear that good. Stop.
I probably wouldn't get any like actual work done with him because I would just like play a note, like, "Yo, what note is this, dude? What note is this?"
I've seen somebody hold like a tuning like app on their phone up to him and have them sing a note and get dead on before.
That's
stressful.
Gross.
Yes.
You brought up the accident. I wanted to talk about it, but I don't know.
Oh, that's off limits, man. No, I'm kidding. You're good.
I knew you were gonna do that, dude.
You're good.
I don't know many details.
Sure. I mean, I'll go as deep or not as deep.
I don't want to go deep. I just want, some people may not know what happened. Sure. But what I do know happened is every touring band member's worst nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were on tour in 2015, and like around this time is November of 2015. And we were leaving a show in Lubbock, Texas. We were heading to an off day in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And somewhere along the way, the front left tire of our bus, the tread separated from the tire blew, and it jerked us across the center line right as we were passing a semi.
Oh, see, yeah, that's
head-on collision
information I didn't even know either.
Yeah. So I mean, complete total freak accident. But yeah, literally worst nightmare. It felt like I was living out like some disaster scene from some
movie, like
2012
like or something.
Bay movie or something.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, like I woke up like a split second before the impact. You know, I felt like the bus slam on the brakes, which you guys have done like a bus in Europe and stuff.
Right. Yeah, because you guys were in like were you guys in like a Prevost type deal? Like
yeah. Yep. But I'm sure you've had the bus experience where like somebody cuts the driver off and he like taps the brakes a little hard and you like jerk away for a second.
It's a lot harder in a bus than any other vehicle for sure.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah.
And so I felt that, and I woke up just thinking like somebody cut him off, and before I could even brace myself, just slam. And we like slid for a few seconds, and then I like just laid there in silence, like like what now, you know, like waiting for our driver to like check on us and stuff. Obviously was a little bit more severe than I had initially anticipated, but yeah, that it's like our lives changed like completely in the matter of
in an
like seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And no one could have predicted it or stopped it, I don't think. I don't know. So crazy.
And then so everyone in the band was okay. I mean, not okay, but
right. Everyone in band and crew made it. Unfortunately, we lost both drivers, the driver of the semi and our tour bus driver, but all members made it. And all of our crew made it. Everybody's pretty banged up. I mean, Andrew, our drummer, lost a leg and
crazy
above the knee, and he has some like pretty serious like shoulder issues.
Okay.
I think he might have like a few fused vertebrae. He's got like pretty severe nerve damage in his hand. And it goes all the way from that to like our bass player Jim like broke his ankle and broke his jaw and stuff. So there's like the injuries are like all over the spectrum, from like lost limbs to like I got some bumps and bruises and stuff. Obviously, you know, the future of the band was pretty much in limbo from that point. We didn't know if Andrew was gonna be able to play drums ever again, or if he would even want to.
Oh yeah, his success story of like everyone was rooting for you guys.
Yep.
Everyone was following very closely. I mean, it just shows after that reunion show that finally happened, like the faith and support was more than anyone could ever even see.
Oh, I never expected it to be like that.
Yeah. But I mean, I think a lot of it was like I was paying such close attention because you just, like I said, it was every musician's worst nightmare, because probably the most dangerous thing you do on tour is sleep in a moving vehicle. Like it's just And like, yes, every member's been in those moments. I remember someone in the wintertime in Canada tried moving to hit a deer on the road. And I mean, just the seconds of fear you feel from that is just crazy. And it's just like,
Yep. And what's crazy also about the bus thing is like part of paying that extra money you pay to be able to tour in a bus is like paying for the extra
security.
safety.
Yeah.
Right. Is because it's like you're in like one of the biggest vehicles on the road. Like what could possibly go wrong? Well, the other vehicle the same size as you that's on the road is what could go wrong.
On the 2-lane highway. I hate that shit, dude.
Right. Yeah. It's just like literally just the worst possible timing and luck. And it's just like nothing more than that. And it just happened to happen to us. Yeah. I mean, we're still here though.
Yeah. Well, and like if you guys weren't in a bus, like,
oh, it would have been over. We wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And and I also think like it's horrible that anyone passed away, but I also imagine like, well, what if it would have been like, and I don't know, I don't want to say this and like sound insensitive because it's terrible that we lost the driver of the semi, but like, what if he would have been in a car with like his family and and more people passed? Like there are ways
looking on the bright side of a horrible
worse.
situation. Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's crazy. I've like played through every single possible.
Oh, I bet, dude.
Over the years, it's crazy. So, now I just decide to be thankful that we're even still just
here.
We're
well, and then so at that moment, what everyone was rushed to like some backwoods Texas hospital, like.
So we were like 40-ish minutes outside of El Paso, I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
and so we had to be split between 3 hospitals though, because there wasn't one ICU that could take all of us at one time.
God.
So they kind of split us up by severity, and for the first 24 hours, I was like left in a hospital by myself with no phone.
Dude, this is like heavy. Like it's like hard for me to talk about this. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was tough. Like that first 24 hours that it took from like. So me, my bass player, and our drum tech got sent to one hospital because we were the least injured guys.
Yeah.
But they were in better shape than I was, so they could be discharged that day. I had to stay by myself. I had 2 broken ankles and a broken foot. Like I couldn't walk out.
Yeah, but even then, like they were discharged to. I mean, did they fly home that day
They went. Yeah, they left that day within a few hours to go like ID the other guys at another hospital.
Yeah.
So I stayed at that first hospital for like 24 hours before my family got there, thinking that all of my friends might be dead because I had no way of checking in. Yeah. So it was not.
Dude, that could be a movie for sure. Easily.
I mean, it kind of sounds like it's something out of a movie. Like I literally felt like I was living a Michael Bay movie. Yeah. It was so crazy. Yeah, and it just it sounds so cheesy, but it like makes me appreciate everything that we get to do now so much more. It's like you get to the point where you like have toured all these places so many times and you're just like, oh, I'll be back.
Right.
Like we're in Europe right now, but we're booked to come back here in 6 months. Like whatever. We touched down in Australia in January for Unify Festival, and I literally started tearing up in the airport because it's like I never thought I was going to come back to this place.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe that we almost died 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and we all 5 of us and our crew are here in Australia right now. It's so crazy. So crazy.
It's awesome. It's an awesome story.
Yeah, I feel very, very fortunate to still be here and talking to my shot friend right now.
Yeah, let's lighten the mood. I suck.
You do.
No, it's crazy. And like it's something that I just always knew happened, but I never knew like. Well, I don't know. I was always even.
I can understand why like somebody would be hesitant to talk about
it
with us. You know what I mean? Because it's like you never know how somebody's going to react with something so like touchy. But I feel like we've all like thank God for technology because we just basically as somebody would wake up or like be conscious enough to communicate, we would just add them to a group chat. And so for like 3 years, we had a group chat with all 10 of us that was just constantly going off where we could like vent to each other and like be like, guys, I just had a doctor's appointment today. I'm going to need another surgery, blah, blah, blah. Just a way for us to like cope with each other. And like, I can't even imagine if it happened like 10 years prior to that. We're just like, what do we play phone tag with each other all day?
Yeah. Wow.
It's just like technology saved us in big ways, just because like nobody's gonna understand what you're going through in a situation like that better than the guys you're going through it with. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Crazy.
It's crazy. Oh, it's scary. It's so scary.
Yeah.
So to completely divert from that.
Yeah.
I know you as the guitar player in bands and blah blah blah. I don't know much of your other passions or time spending hobbies. Or you're a dad now and you're married, but
I'm a dad now.
Even when you're on tour, is there anything you like try to see or gravitate towards? Or my question is normally like if you're in a universe where you just weren't in a band and you had to do something else for a living, like what would you be doing?
See, that is my worst fear in the world.
Yeah,
because I've never had any other real passion outside.
Yeah, because even right now, when you can't tour, you're recording and you're doing music stuff. So yeah,
right. I had little things along the way that I think like everybody has grown up. Like I would like skateboarding was really big for me for a minute.
Okay.
And then I was like really big into baseball when I was younger. But then like once I started playing music, like literally nothing else.
It was like you wipe the table with your arm.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. I would play baseball and I got to high school and the high school team was like, yeah, we'd love to have you, but you have to practice 7 days a week. And I'm like, but there's band practice, so for me, know. So that's a tough one. I mean, obviously, like you said, I'm a dad now, so like I try to spend as much time as I can with my wife and my son, especially right now because the world's fucking falling to pieces and whatnot. But and then comic books, that's a big thing for me for downtime on tour. Is I love to find the local comic shop and just buy whatever's new that week.
That's
and
cool.
Then just read
because
all day. I usually
Brent from ABR does that too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And him and I have talked about comics a good bit too. Yeah, I usually just find a shop and try to buy whatever's new or find something rare that they have that I haven't seen somewhere else or whatever.
I admire that passion. I was never it missed me. My stepdad was huge into comics and I got a decent amount of his growing up. But I mean, I'm just trash at reading in general. Like I don't read books ever.
Sure. I go through phases.
But I really appreciate the art aspect of comics.
Yes. That's what drew me into comics first. I was obsessed with Batman when I was little, which is, I mean, I've got Batman sleeve. Like that's my thing.
Yeah.
So I was really into Batman when I was little, and it was because of the art. And then I got a little
It's
bit
dark,
older,
which I love. Like that very gothic dark. Yeah.
Which is why I love Batman. That's why it's my favorite. And so I got a little bit older. I got really into reading them a little bit, and then I just fell off. And then like I started touring, and I got really into it. So I go in phases.
That's cool.
Like,
no, I enjoy that.
Then I don't do it for a while.
And comics they're hard, man, because there's so many different alternate. It's so hard to keep up with. Like, do you have like a favorite timeline or story that you've written from?
I mean, there's the classic, the classics in the Batman world. There's like the Killing Joke, and then there's like Death in the Family. Like, there's like the classic Batman ones that like everybody loves. But I really enjoyed. They did Scott Snyder did a run of Batman. Called the New 52 like series they did of Batman.
I've heard of that. Really
yeah. He's awesome, and that run of books is really awesome. And now I'm just like out of the loop because we're not touring as much. Yeah. And then being a dad, it's like that's actually been the biggest killer of my reading time. Is like by the time I get to bed, which is what I would normally read, is like laying in bed at night. It's just like, dude, I've got like negative 10% life left in me. I can't read right now.
Is your kid into like any comic type stuff, or?
He is slowly getting into Batman, which
cool.
is like my favorite thing.
Yeah.
For like the past couple months, like his like bedtime playlist is like all of the Batman theme music, which is like fucking dead on for me.
Yeah.
But he hasn't like totally latched on yet. I don't know if I'm gonna get that lucky, but I'm like soaking in every moment that he's like wearing a Batman mask or a cape or something.
That's sick.
Like
yeah.
that's like dad goals for me right there.
That's awesome. Is there any... So, like, are you a huge fan of any of the Batman movies, or are you one of the dudes that's like they can never do comic justice? Or
So I'm real easy to please when it comes to movies, because it's like, dude,
they're doing it like the sheer fact.
Who the fuck ever thought you were gonna see any of this in fucking live action form? Like, yeah, there's some that are not as great as others. Like, obviously Justice League. Like, everybody hates on Justice League, and everybody hates on Batman vs Superman. But like, I still find some like entertainment value stuff in that.
Yeah.
That's my childhood, like, brought to life by humans on a screen. Like, you know.
I mean, as far as the film, I'm a huge Christopher Nolan fan.
Yes.
Interstellar is my favorite movie of like all time.
Incredible.
But then like
top 10 movie for me.
The Dark Knight franchise was just crazy.
Yep. I love all of those, but for me, it will always be like the two Michael Keaton movies, the like 1989 Batman and then Batman Returns. Like those were the ones that like pulled me into Batman, and so they just
really
have so much sentimental value.
What were the villains in those? Because that's how I remember.
The 89 one was the Joker, and then Batman Returns was Penguin and Catwoman.
Dude, I was terrified of Danny DeVito for so long.
He's so fucking creepy in that movie.
Yes. I think I actually got like a phobia of like mittens. Just anything flipper like really screwed me up.
Dude, it looks pretty fucked in that movie.
And then you like watch Always Sunny and you're like, this dude was that horrifying penguin creature from that movie.
Right, but to be fair, he's an interesting looking guy to begin with. So you just
he knows
shape him like a
he knows it.
Yeah,
literally, he can just like shred some clothes and be funny in any scene he wants to because he knows he's hilarious looking.
Yes,
I love Danny DeVito. So not the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, and
I loved those growing up, but like going back and watching them now, they just don't hold up, man. I want to love them, but
that was also Uma Thurman, Poison Ivy, and Bane too, right? Which is on paper sounds so sick,
right? It was like almost too comic booky.
Yeah.
It like I said, I loved them growing up. I remember being so excited when they came out, and now I like literally within like the past 6 months, I've tried to rewatch them, and I'm like,
yeah,
you guys don't hold up anymore.
Yeah, no. I'm such a quality snob too. Like it kills me in everything, like every aspect. Like it's hard for me to go watch old movies. It's hard for me to listen to old music. It's so hard. Like I wish I wasn't that way, but I am.
I could be that way too, unless like something has like severe sentimental value to me. Like if there's like an old like album that by today's standards sounds like garbage. Like I'll give you one. The It Dies Today album, The Cave Choir. I don't know if you ever cared about that band.
Okay. Yeah.
But that album was huge for me. And by today's standards, that album sounds like shit. But I wouldn't change anything about it because it like was a huge album for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know, man. I think even the nostalgia factor, like it helps, but it doesn't save it sometimes.
Okay, well you got it worse than I do.
Someone in chat just called me a snob, and I'll take it. Like I am.
That's fair.
Like I'll sign me up for any remaster, redux. I'm down.
I don't know if I mean, yeah, maybe you might be right. I don't know, but nostalgia saves it for me a lot.
Yeah. It helps for sure. Are we stoked for Edward Patton being Batman next?
Dude, yes.
Sick. I watched the trailer and it was sick. It was cool. I mean, he's been doing some really insane acting roles in general.
Yeah. Yep. I was super skeptical of Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Oh.
And before that movie came out. And ever since then, I like
You're like, I'm down, anybody. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when they announced what the hell is his name? You just said his name. I can't remember his name.
I think it's Edward Patton. I said it and it kind of sounded weird.
Pattinson. So when they announced him, I was like, questionable. And then
Robert Pattinson. Like, oh my God, Edward is his freaking Twilight name.
That's the one.
God.
And then as soon as they announced him, I was like, and then I saw the trailer. I was like, oh, this is like gonna be the sickest Batman movie yet.
Yeah.
It looks insane. I think.
Yeah.
It looks fucking cool. So I'm super stoked on that.
Cool. That's awesome. Man,
I think it got delayed though, because I think he got COVID.
he was
If I
just
remember correctly.
he was just filming around here not too long ago. Cause
for another movie.
yeah, I mean, I guess it was a year and a half. I don't even know what time is anymore. It's just a construct. But there's a movie that came out on Netflix called The Devil All the Time. Have you watched that?
Okay.
I
haven't, but I've seen it.
That was filmed.
I've seen it pop up.
Yeah. That was filmed in Birmingham like not that long ago. And I was working at a shop, our coffee shop's second location that's closed since. But like they were all around. It was like Robert Pattinson, the dude who plays Spider-Man.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, and then Bucky from that same Marvel universe. I can't think of it. I'm terrible with actor names, obviously.
So am I.
But yeah, there was like a lot of A-list actors like just walking around Birmingham and eating good food and drinking good coffee for a little while. It was weird.
So crazy.
Yeah.
That's sick though.
It was cool. It's cool. Birmingham's coming up. And it's funny. I say that because people can come film here and it looked like a literal 1940s timepiece because because
it is.
Yeah.
Wonder what that's about.
I walked into that.
No, I like Birmingham. I mean, I've only been there a handful of times, but like I don't have any complaints about Birmingham.
Yeah, I mean, I live here still. Birmingham is great to a degree.
Sure.
30 miles in any other direction, I'm just like, how am I here?
Sure. Is Zydeco still there? Did it survive? Has it survived?
Zydeco's fine. So yeah. Funny enough, the townhome that me and my lady own is literally a minute drive from Zydeco.
No shit.
So you know exactly where I live.
Yes, I do. Exactly.
So like Zydeco, if you go up that steep hill, you see the Vulcan, which is like the big statue. If you go down the other side of the hill, that's where I live.
Okay. No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're talking about.
So funny, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool though.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm glad. Like I always think about all of the like, I guess like the mid-tier venues that like are like staples on tours and stuff.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's funny. Everyone
gonna make it through this or not.
Yeah, everyone I talk to knows Zydeco, which is so funny that it's not even COVID, but it's withstood the test of time for like a decade of like all these. Right. Yeah, it's so funny.
Right, and it's like it doesn't get hit very often, but like everybody always remembers it.
The big thing was when Asking Alexandria came. And
they played there.
They played there. They played there, and they got their fans to like destroy the building. You never heard about this?
No.
So they a bunch of people. I mean, the ceiling is like you could do this at Zydeco and touch the ceiling,
right?
But like I guess during a breakdown of some song, which that band always put a bitter taste in my mouth from that situation because being from Birmingham, them closing down like the only somewhat successful venue that we had,
right?
But yeah, like they were like, grab this air duct and pull it down and let's party. Well, they did, and like literally the building almost caved in on itself.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was like
that's stressful.
Yeah, it was a big thing. They closed down for a long time, had to redo construction. It didn't come back any nicer, which is questionable.
Naturally,
they probably just like duct taped it up.
But
yeah,
where you guys play when you guys do hometown shows?
The last time we played Birmingham was at Zydeco.
Sick.
Yeah, we don't play Birmingham often.
Even as your hometown?
Just go play Atlanta. Why not?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, I guess Texas only played Lancaster like once every 2 or 3 years. Really.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're trying to get to. But the last show we had at Zydeco was like the best hometown show we ever had. So we were like,
sick.
I mean, before everything.
Maybe we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Before everything came screeching to a halt, we were like planning on doing it annually and stuff. But yeah, there's no telling what and when anything's going to happen.
Right. So do you guys have plans for the record yet? Did I ask you that yet?
Yeah, it's like I said, don't hold your breath.
You can talk about, huh?
Yeah, it's just we had dates and even that looks weird now, so it's just I don't know.
We went through that earlier this year with our record where the label was like, "Do you still want to put it out?"
Yeah.
Even though, and we were like, at least people can listen to it, even if we can't go play it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's the record's coming out. It's just
right, but you just don't know when yet.
Yeah.
Because of everything. That's fair.
Yeah.
That sucks. Well, what I've heard is good.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, man.
I got some sneak peeks.
There you go. I'm excited. It's gonna be like literally an old record to me by the time this comes out. That's the sad part.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to Andrew, my drummer, about that the other day. It's like, I think about bands like Wage War, for instance. They put out a record, I think, at the end of last year, and I think they only toured it once or twice. And I saw that they've already been writing for a new record. And so by the time this is all over, they might have another record out.
So weird.
And
I mean, it'll be cool though, because they. Man, I don't know. That's tricky because like when you start playing your new music at first live, it sucks.
Right.
So like, are they gonna have like 2 full albums worth of that, or will people have been listening because they have nothing? It's so like, it's so
dude.
strange.
No one has any clue what's gonna happen. Yeah. It's so crazy.
That is really weird.
You know, and we've been like, we just put out a record in June, but it's like, how long till management's like, well, doesn't look like shows are coming back. Why don't you start working on another one?
Yeah.
And we'll be like.
Yeah, because even your band's a live music band too. Like,
yes.
I mean, most of our genre is, but
I mean, it's our genre doesn't exist without the live experience.
Yeah.
Well, not in any sustainable way, anyway, in my opinion.
Right. I don't know, dude. VR mosh pitting, dude. It's gonna be a thing.
No way. Like, I feel like
no way.
The live streams have been a cool like way to like hold everybody over a little bit, but it's just, I don't think it's ever gonna replace like going to a show.
Yeah.
Getting sweaty with a bunch of fat dudes hanging all over you and stuff.
It won't, for sure. Such a weird concept, dude. Let's talk about gear.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
You're on ESP now. Back.
I am on ESP now.
You worded it. You're back home.
Yeah, I'm back to the motherland. Yeah, I've been playing ESP for literally almost as long as I've been playing guitar.
Yeah, that's me with Ibanez. Like one of my first guitars was Ibanez with EMGs in them, and that's still what I'm playing. Which I don't know if is like a good thing.
An EMG guy.
Yeah.
Well, why would that not be? You found what you liked early on, and you stuck with. There's nothing wrong.
Right, but then there's also a little something wrong with doing the same thing you're doing when you were 16 years old.
You're in a fairly successful band, my friend. I think you're doing okay.
Yeah, all right, fair.
I think you're done just fine.
Yeah, you play Fishman now, right? I knew that.
I'm a Fishman guy.
Yes,
yeah.
Fishman ESP.
Yep. Yeah, I swear by the Fishman stuff. And I mean I like the EMG stuff too. I've basically used it all at this point, and I actually did that last tour, the tour we got in the accident on. I was shooting out pickups because we had just switched to in-ears, and we play in 3 different tunings. So I had a different set of pickups in every guitar, and I was shooting them out every night.
I hate it, dude.
In my ears, in the mix, I just felt like for what we do, just the chuggy, beefy shit, like the Fishman just cut so much better, and so that's just what I've stuck with ever since.
Yeah.
It just works for us.
I mean, my world definitely got rocked as far as tonality goes when we got in-ears. Like everything I thought was good, it just gets shifted, and I still think it is good for the PA, but it's just like sadly, I think I care about what I hear more than what everyone else cares about, what everyone else hears, because it affects my playing, and that's like
snob. Right, I get it. We went over this. That's fair.
Yeah.
I used to always complain, like with Texas, where you'd play a venue and like the monitoring on stage is garbage, and I wouldn't be able to hear myself, and I'd be like, I could have played really well tonight, but I would never know because I couldn't hear, so it felt like I played like shit.
Yeah.
But the nights where I could hear everything I was doing, it's like, oh god, like I know I played well tonight.
Yeah.
And so like I like that part of the in-ears of having control, and I've just let it go now, where it's like I will play with whatever tone our front of house guy tells me sounds good out front.
Yeah, I do that too. I do a lot because I mean, at the end of the day, they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, so it's like before our show in LA last year, one of the last days of rehearsal, I literally just kept spinning through profiles on my Kemper until our front of house guy was like, "That's the one." I was like, "All right."
Oh yeah,
done.
and you
Cool.
play Kemper.
Yep.
What amp are
You're
you
a Kemper.
profiled? Yeah.
It's a 5153, and
Okay.
I don't know if I should say. Well, I'm an STL Tones artist,
Oh
but
yeah.
it is not an STL Tones profile.
I don't know if you should say that either.
I do use a bunch of their stuff, but the main like rhythm one just happened to be one that do you know a guy named Jack Daniels? He plays in a band called
Yeah, he has a
Ages.
sick whiskey. That's what comes to mind. No, it's just like I was like the whiskey dude plays guitar.
His name is actually Jack Daniels, and Jack Daniel, I believe, and he plays guitar in the band War of Ages. But he's also
okay, the War of Ages dude. Yeah.
He's also a producer, and he just made like a super sick 5153 profile that just fucking rips.
Damn, I actually want to check that out.
I can I'm sure he'd be cool with me sending it to you.
Okay. Wait, so if you did your own pack though, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I use some of that stuff still. I just
shit changes too. Like if you went
right, yeah, and it's like we use like stuff from like super saturated like rhythm tones to like I use some like mid gain, like just barely breaking up stuff, some super squeaky clean stuff. Like I use a bunch of the STL stuff, but it just so happened that when I was scrolling through, and our front house guy said that's the one, and just happened to land on his, and I was like, all right, that's the one. That's the one we're using tonight. And I've just stuck with it ever since.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I mean, we were talking the other day, I guess me and any guitar player I ever talked to, about how it was when Eddie Van Halen died, and like what the 5150 did for guitar players, and just like how it
changed everything.
Yeah, how insane it was. And even today, Kemper's Axe Effects, we're all using 5150 like amp blocks and all of our digital.
Yep.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yep. I mean, can you name like one singular guitar player that's been as influential, not just in playing, but in the way a guitar sounds? Like who else has done that?
Not from that
big of a way.
Not from that era, for sure.
Sure.
I mean, there's like a lot of modern people who've really shaken things, but
you got your Mishas and your Tosins and guys like that, but even still, what they have done has been built off of the building blocks of like EVH.
Yeah.
You know, like he fucking changed the game for everybody.
From that time zone, for sure. And then there was like the people before him who just did crazy things, like Stevie Ray Vaughan,
right,
Jimi Hendrix. Yep. But it's funny because it's like they're just utilizing this gear that no one else thought to, I guess. Like,
right. But then you got like Eddie like had a sound in his head, and that's how we got the 5150.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I guess you have to give fucking Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan credit for like creating those signature sounds with just like what was there, like what they had.
Yeah, Jimi Hendrix just got a Stratocaster and then like 6 Marshall full stacks and cranked them to 11.
Right, just cranked them as loud.
And then because like even like let's actually break this down for a second. If I did that, I would sound like a dying horse.
Yes,
but he sounded how he did, and that's crazy.
But it sounded right with his hands. Yeah,
so wild, so weird to think about.
Some people just have the fucking magic in their fingers, man.
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah, but it is pretty ironic that literally all of us out there that are using like digital amps, almost all of us are using some form of a 5150.
I never used one of those in my Kemper.
Really?
Yeah, even now I'm using the Paul Reed Smith Archon for the profile.
Okay. Yeah, and then I used one of those for a while.
I tried using there was a clean channel from the EVH head that sounded cool, but then I eventually found a Morgan amp profile, and I was like, whoa.
You're a fucking it's more snobby.
I am such a snob, dude.
Even my digital amps are snobby.
But then I was talking about how the other day I played a show. This is years ago now, but my Kemper had some random. When my Kemper gets dirty power, it can be a little bitch. I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I have a very early Kemper. Like I bought it really in the beginning of
Mine will occasionally freeze. Like, that's as weird as it gets.
Okay. So every once in a while, I'll have a dirty power problem, and my Kemper just ceases to exist. And then I remember there was a show where the band before me already had a 5150 and like a couple pedals set up on my side of the stage. I was like, can I just rip this for the show real quick? And it was like one of the sickest shows of my life. I was like, it was just insane. Like, what a real 5150 amp. And it wasn't even mine. It wasn't like dialed in the way I wanted it to be, but like something about it just felt like all of a sudden I had like a lion chain behind me, and I was just like, yeah, it was crazy.
Well, are you at the time, were you running your Kemper direct only? So was it like the fact that you like?
No, it was. I no. Back then we were still cabs. It was just something. It was just there was just a growl, like just a powerful, just intensity behind it. That still digital amps. Kemper to me captures that the most and the best.
I agree.
But there's still it's still one little peg under real amps. Obviously, I mean.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably always going to be there.
Yeah,
I think. Well, maybe not, because I think plugins.
The neural stuff is insane.
I think that the neural stuff and the STL stuff has gotten maybe closer than the Axe-Fx or the Kemper has gotten.
I think so too. I have all the STL stuff, and I can't get it to work quite right. Admittedly, I haven't tried super hard because I have all the neural stuff too.
Well, I know a guy, in case you ever want to dig into that.
I mean, I have it.
The guy's me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably just screen share with you one day, because now that I have your Discord. Discord's sick.
Cool.
Did you have Discord before we did this?
I did. I just rarely ever use it.
Yeah.
We set up one for our show last year for like fans to be able to do like ticket exchanges.
That's
and,
cool.
Like housing sharing and stuff for people getting hotels and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've just been on since then, but I never fucking use it.
It's awesome. They're implementing some new stuff too from this quarantine, like because they know everyone's like home. They want to be like the new Zoom.
Sure.
I think it's really strong, powerful software. And now they implemented personal screen shares where you can share audio with people too, so you don't have to be in like a Discord session with somebody else or
right. That's sick.
Yeah, it is cool.
I mean, it's obviously been really good for people to build communities and shit. So like, fucking more power to them. Like,
I actually teach my guitar lessons on Discord now too.
That's sick. Yeah. See, that's cool.
Because Skype can burn in hell. It's the shittiest fucking.
Skype is pretty garbage. Skype's pretty garbage.
Fuck Skype.
I mean, so is Zoom, if we're being honest here.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Zoom is just like, because I did the Contortionist stream with them, and they do a big Zoom call with the whole band. And there's just like some settings you need to dial in with Zoom, and it just kind of like turns into a much sicker software. But then like you have to be comfortable with it and know how to navigate it and stuff.
Right. That's How do we get on Zoom from talking about guitar amps? How do we end up here?
Yeah, that's just the digital age, dude. Zoom shows, digital amps. That was funny though. I don't know. I was in your Instagram live for the unboxing of the new guitars.
Yeah.
They looked really sick.
Were fucking with me.
For a second.
They are cool. I wish I had them. I don't even have them here right now. But
what do you mean? Where are they?
I sent them out with a buddy to get them set up and swap out some pickups and stuff. So I should have them back tomorrow. I'm very, very eager to play with them.
Dang, so we can't even see them. It's a bummer.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I didn't even think about that. I blew that one, huh?
That's all right.
Yeah, they're cool, man. I'm like really obsessed with like Telly and Strat style stuff right now, and playing like heavy music with them. So they actually are sending me. They're actually sending me their like Strat copy sometime this month too. I'm like really wanting to be Jim Root right now.
Oh yeah, they do have the Jim Root. Like, that is like the Or no,
really want to rip. He's a Fender guy, but they have like a Strat.
They have a couple signatures that are just like Strats, and they're so sick.
Yep. The fucking Alex Wade one from Whitechapel is like almost a Strat kind of thing.
It's funny, all of us metal dudes are just trying to like be tuned down blues players now. It's like
Yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at. I'm just
Mhm.
trying to rip chunky riffs on like a dad rock guitar right now.
That's what
I
I
don't know
made,
why.
dude, with Ibanez. This thing, if you took the extra string off of it, this is like
This
something.
extra string off of it. Oh yeah, dude.
I put the pick guard on, the classic like Gibson looking humbuckers.
The pick guard's what does it.
Yeah.
It makes it look classy.
Dude.
So sick. Is that custom?
Ish.
So semi-custom or whatever they call it.
It's like a model I picked because I just love their Prestige line anyway.
Yep.
And
I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, and then I
love the Ibanez stuff too.
I had them spend a lot of time with that, repainting it and changing some of the specs, and
that's sick.
I mean, you know, if you repaint a guitar and put different hardware and pickups in it, like, let's be real, it changes the entire entity of the guitar.
Yeah, absolutely it does.
Because at the end of the day, it's still an RG.
Right. But it's still sick.
Yeah, I love it
now.
Yeah.
There's
no other Ibanez like it, so that's cool.
Yeah. Is that your main axe now?
Nope. I don't play it that much.
What the fuck, man? What a waste.
Yeah, kind of. My first ever endorsement guitar was that RGD, and it just has like the most bare bones guitar neck you could have. Like, there's no binding.
It just has the mojo.
And it's just like an ebony fretboard on a piece of wood, and it just my hand just feels so right on that neck. It's just like
got the mojo, man.
Yeah, it's solid. I love that guitar still.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough. I still have the first Kiesel they sent me that like
it just was right.
It was the exactly same specs as the other one they sent me that I had to send back, but it just like feels like it's got something else.
So weird, man. It's so weird how that works.
Exact same woods, exact same specs, but it just feels like it's got something extra.
And my favorite guitar is the 6-string I have, which is like so ironic.
Yeah, do you guys even play 6-string stuff anymore? Did you ever play 6-string stuff?
Yes. All old era was a 6-string, but drop A sharp. So it was like a really heavy gauge string, low tuning for a 6-string, like pretty much as low as you could go. Because the second we tried going lower, we had to go to 7 strings.
We play in A sharp and A on 6 strings, but we're also just playing fucking dummy riffs.
Yeah, which
we're not trying to noodle around and whatnot.
Well, the dummy riffs is what makes it hard because you don't want to lose tightness with those flubby strings when it tunes that low. So it's like,
are you an Evertune guy? Have you ever fucked with Evertune at all?
So no. We don't record unless it's on an Evertune. Purely, I mean, let's be real.
Because who would anymore?
But also live, we have to tune one of our strings up and down a half step.
Yeah, that's kind of out of the question for you guys. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, okay, never mind. I like swear by Evertune.
We need a we need a bridge not to forever be in tune when we play live because we Yeah.
I swear by them, but
they're so sick. I mean, I wish.
Oh, they're.
But if we did that, I would have to have like 4 or 3 guitars just set up for just some of the like. It's just.
Yeah, it's just not realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm stoked because Kiesel only offered Evertunes in like 2 models, and I didn't care for either of those models. And so now that I'm back with the SP, I can actually start ripping Evertune.
Ibanez was talking about how they hate Evertune. They hate what they have to do to a guitar in order to put them in. But now there's like stock models coming out like crazy with Evertunes in them.
I get where they're coming from with that, but it's like it's really not much. It's almost the exact same thing as putting in a Floyd Rose.
Right. But with Ibanez, they were struggling because some of that, like an S series with an Evertune, doesn't work. Like your guitar will fold in half, and it's like
well, you have to pick and choose in scenarios like that. But like in RG, like I have an RG with an Evertune in it, and I have an FR with an Evertune in it sitting over there.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not taking out really any more wood than you would be to put a Floyd Rose in any of those guitars.
Yeah.
I know there's producers out there who are like, oh, it makes your guitar not sound as good. But it's like, look, if it's taking 3% of tone off my guitar, but I don't have to
those
tune
those
500
producers
times a day, then I will.
Those producers aren't playing metal then, because with metal. There's like so much we're trying to avoid.
There's a specific metal producer I can think of that rallies against them pretty hard. But then we went and did our record with Will, and Will's like, we're only tracking your rhythm guitars with an Evertune guitar.
Yeah, we literally. It's funny. We had a guitar from Ibanez, and we literally ordered the exact same carbon copy guitar with an Evertune in it because we were about to record, and we were like, nope, we need an Evertune. Like we refuse. Yep. You cut your rhythm guitar tracking in half.
Yeah, you tune at the beginning of the day, and then you never think about it again.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a fucking game changer. Crazy.
Bo from Seosin is like a huge advocate for Evertune too.
Yep.
Like there's like you guys might as well form a church because it's like, have you heard about the Evertune today?
Oh yeah, I've talked to Bo about it a good bit. He's mixed some stuff that I've worked on, and we've nerded out a bit over gear. He's the fucking man.
Is there any other gear that you're using right now that you want to give a shout out to or you're crazy about? I guess if you're in a DAW most of the day, you're playing with plugins and
plugins, and then there's like, I don't know. See, my like live rig has like shrunk down so much since we have to fly now.
Yeah.
And because like we don't even play with 3 guitars live anymore. Like for tunings, we just use the Digitech drop pedals now.
Same.
Because it's like
that one deserves a shout out for sure.
Oh, dude, it's I think in my opinion, it smokes everything else for like pitch shifting.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that speak on the Kemper's internal, but I hate it.
I've had a ton of latency issues when I like if anything I play faster with the Kemper transpose, I like notice, especially in ears.
Well, right, which that probably makes sense because all of our shit is stupid fast or wildly,
Right, and so like by far, I think the drop pedal is like gets the closest to feeling like the most natural.
I'll say that the one thing the drop pedal does is it feels.
Are you gonna say? Does it feel like it drives out your signal a little bit?
Yeah,
it does for me.
It like gates it a little bit.
Yeah, I've noticed that on the. I'm gonna start building it into my Kemper because we switch our patches off of a laptop. Like we have it all programmed in.
So you're just gonna patch like a little bit hotter of a.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like turn the input gain up or something on songs where the drop pedal.
That'll probably clear it right up.
I wish, and I've actually been bugging Digitech about this. I wish they would make a drop pedal that was MIDI controllable, but they don't. You can get the big whammy drop tune pedal, but it's fucking gigantic.
Yeah,
and we need 3 of them, and I don't want to carry that around.
I get that. And Nick from Night Versus is advocating for the Ricochet. I don't know what it physically looks like.
Isn't the Ricochet? I'm gonna look it up right now.
It does like everything all of them can do and more, I think, is what he was saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up right now.
But yeah, he loves the Ricochet. I have something cool coming in the mail soon.
What is it?
It is the new Horizon Devices Flux.
Sick.
Yeah, because I'm trying to build out an analog pedal board and make it like as wild as sounding as a digital one.
I looked your like backlog of videos earlier, and I saw you have a goal for a pedal board.
Yeah,
that's dope. Are you using like analog pedals right now, like when you guys play live, or are you just is it all built into Kemper shit?
Live? Yeah.
When the world is working, you know what I mean.
Well, I don't know. Like this is something I found through the quarantine. So like when time comes and it's like crunch time, I probably won't even be ready. Like I'll probably have to trial and error. It might be something I have to bring I might have to bring my Kemper and my amp and pedal board and like trial and error it through sound check. Like it's just a world. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the closest and easiest it's ever been with that new Rev amp. Cause I could just DI it to our in-ears in front of house like I would my Kemper. Right. So that was like my intention with moving in that direction. And, yeah, we'll see. I kind of want to, man, because I'm a fucking snob and I want my shit to sound.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I've been seeing everybody post about those Synergy amps, those little amp modules. Have you seen those?
I hadn't even heard of those.
So they're like they like literally look like they're little modules that look like they fit in like half a rack space,
Okay.
and they're like actual channels from like legit amps,
Okay.
and they can either be run DI or through a power amp out into a cab. And I've been seeing people like push them real hard recently, and I've like listened to clips and they sound really fucking good. And like the snob in me wants to be like, maybe I go that way, but
Yeah.
I'm like, but I have it all on the Kemper, and
Well,
like
so
most of the people in the crowd are never going to know what I'm
Yeah.
playing, so it doesn't matter. Like I have to keep reminding myself that.
Yeah.
Like until my front of house guy goes, yo, the guitar tones in the Kemper aren't cutting it anymore,
Which aren't going to
gonna stick with
happen.
this.
The Kemper tones are only going to get better.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We might be at a point now where the hardware that's there itself might be, tapped at what it can achieve. But
Well, right.
they'll put
So
out something else.
yeah,
new.
they'll put out like the XFX 3. That thing is a fucking gaming computer putting out.
Right.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
Which they moved to 3 rack spaces. That was my biggest qualm with a Kemper, was the 3rd rack space.
How big it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, you're gonna fucking run out of space for the fucking components in there. You got to do something.
Yeah, it's true.
Who knows?
Well, let's get towards some just some goofier, more chill stuff before we wrap it up.
Hit me with it.
Do you play video games at all?
Occasionally. That's another thing I go through phases with.
Okay.
Like, I play like real hard for months on end, and then I'll like not for a while.
Does that typically revolve around like a release that you were excited about, or?
Usually.
Okay.
I usually go real hard on Call of Duties when they first come out,
Okay.
and then I don't play forever.
Did you get into?
But then when they come out,
were you in on the Warzone stuff? Yeah.
Oh yeah, hard. And then the most recent game I went hard on was the Tony Hawk remasters.
Oh
like,
yeah, that brought back a bunch of
reborn.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like funny. I had like older dude friends that like don't even play video games. Like, man, I gotta get a computer and an Xbox. It's like, man, that's so funny.
Dude, I feel like that was like a bit of nostalgia that I think a lot of people needed this year for like a break from 2020.
Yeah, for sure. That's funny. Are you gonna play any games on Twitch, or are you just gonna mainly do guitar stuff?
I don't know yet. I'm probably, because I'm sure people are gonna get sick of hearing breakdowns at some point.
And like that, what I told myself is like, if I'm gonna be wasting time playing video games anyway, I might as well just do it in an outlet.
Hanging out with people. Yeah. That's essentially like what I'm like looking at coming to Twitch for, is like, I'm gonna be doing this stuff anyway. I might as well be hanging out with people. If they want to hang out and watch, cool. If they don't, I'm going to be doing it, so I'll be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I can either do it in a dark room alone, or in a dark room alone with no one watching still.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So why not?
That's funny. That's super funny.
What do you suggest I play? What are you playing right now?
Yeah, you don't worry about it.
What are you playing right now?
I only play League of Legends now. It's like the only game I play.
So why would I not worry about that?
Well, it's just like it's a dated game. But it's like, also when I hear you say Call of Duty and Tony Hawk, like that.
Well, sure,
Yeah.
but my like other favorite, like my favorite game of all time is Ocarina of Time, Zelda.
Okay.
Like I fucking love RPGs.
Did you play Breath of the Wild?
When Breath of the Wild came out, yeah. I literally dropped everything else going on in my life and only played that.
It's worth it, bro. That game is insane.
It's fucking. I have like 300 hours in that game or something. And I did that like basically straight from the back.
Well, so there's a couple people in my chat right now that would love for me to mention Monster Hunter World. Have you ever heard or played any of that?
Nope, but I'm looking it up now.
So it's a Capcom game. So it's like super nerdy in Japanese. But essentially,
about it.
All you really do, it's open world, and you kill these massive, like prehistoric looking dragon monster type things, and you collect their skin and make armor, and yeah,
it's sick. I'm looking at pictures, screenshots.
It's awesome, and like the unlimited. I'm like a complete nerd. I love build outs and
sure.
Like anytime a game gives you a lot of freedom of like what you can do within it and the mechanics that are within it, I really nerd out for. So like in Monster Hunter, there's so many different ways you can approach fighting. And so I just like, I would try using a bow and arrow to kill a giant dragon one day, or I'd use this
Right.
sword and shield and try to build around that. It was just fun. It was a lot of fun. I love stuff like that.
Did you ever play Diablo 2?
So Diablo 2 is what actually got me into PC gaming at all.
Diablo 2 has taken more time from my life than any other game, and I've recently gotten back into watching guys like speedrun it and shit. Like that.
Okay.
I've been watching a ton of that over the
Well,
past
so
2
if you
weeks.
like Diablo 2, did you not like
played
3
Diablo
as much?
3.
Okay.
I like 3. I don't like it as much, but I did like it.
So you need to get into Path of Exile.
Okay.
Path of Exile is devs from Diablo 2 who went on to make it. I think it's free on Steam.
All right. I'm as soon as we get off here,
Like
I'm gonna go get it.
they literally still use portal scrolls and wisdom scrolls to like it's Diablo 2.
Okay. Yeah. I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't know that existed because Diablo 2 literally took all of my life from middle school and high school.
Now the crazy thing about Path of Exile is there's this, and it was right up my alley. There's, I think, the biggest passive skill tree in any game ever. Like it's just it's comedic to open the skill tree and then just scroll out and zoom out because you stop losing like.
That sounds fucking overwhelming.
It is.
That's probably your shit.
Oh yeah, I loved it. 100% overwhelming. But the plus side is if you just find a build path you like, it's 2020, dude. There's some guy whose entire life is just that skill tree, and he makes YouTube videos. So you'll be fine.
Yeah, I've like I said,
there's definitely a learning curve to that game, though.
Is there?
Yeah, like you don't level abilities. Your abilities are gems that you socket into your armor. And then
I feel like there was something like that in one of the Final Fantasy games. If I remember
yes,
correctly.
yeah. I think someone compared that. I never played any of the Final Fantasies.
I think it was Final Fantasy X. It was in, which is a good game. Like I enjoyed that one.
Yeah,
so it like got a feature from that. I'm about it.
Yeah, I think someone compared the passive tree to Final Fantasy 2, not 2, but as well.
Right.
Yeah,
that's sick. I need to check that out. I didn't even know that game existed.
Yeah, dude.
So you probably just ruined my life. Thank you.
For sure. You could dump an absurd amount of hours into that game.
I probably will. My children will never know who I am now because of you.
Yeah. And then there's I think once a year there's like speed run tournaments for that game too, which will probably
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love watching that shit.
Yeah. It's weird. It's cool because it's probably something I'm about to get back into because they give you, it's like the original campaign or storyline is like the first 5 chapters in the game that it is now or whatever. And they'll speed run, and depending on what they get loot from these different scenarios, they'll do different builds. So even though they're speed running the campaign, there might be 5 people and only 2 of them has this one build and 3 of them have different builds. They'll end up with different gear and different build outs, but they're trying to race each. It's so cool.
That's sick.
Yeah,
that's pretty sick.
It's not like a traditional speed run where you literally carbon copy the exact same thing every time.
Right.
It's like a little RNG, which is cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm about that.
Yeah,
you have to look into that.
I think last time I saw you, I was playing Diablo 3 in the green room. Actually,
you definitely were.
Yeah.
And somebody spilled salt all over your computer.
Yeah. That's just me. Wait, was it you? Did you?
No, it wasn't me.
Why
would I do that?
Someone threw salt at me.
Yes, somebody threw salt at you and it went in your keyboard on your computer and you were pissed. Yes, I remember that. You literally were playing Diablo 3.
That's so funny. People can't just let me be a loner nerd on tour. I have to put up with people.
I mean, I would have done the same thing if I was on tour with you, probably. But I hadn't seen you in like years, so I couldn't be the guy. I had to be nice.
True. You weren't, but it's okay.
Well, nice for me.
It's cool playing that venue because it's like JT's hometown, and it's like adopted us into like a hometownship as well.
You know what's funny about that though is I never see JT when you guys are there. I spend more time with you guys than I do with JT.
Yeah, well, he's a loser anyway. However mean I am to you, I'm way worse to JT.
Well, everybody is.
That dude is fun to rag on, and that will never stop.
It's because he's a lovable doofus.
Yeah, he is a lovable doofus.
I fucking adore him so much, but I also just adore picking on him too.
Yeah, true.
But it's because I love him so much.
Yeah, true.
I hazed him really hard when he first joined Texas, and it wasn't intentional, but I definitely hazed him and went a little too far.
His origin story of joining that band is insane too. Like the fact that like what his first show ever was like Warped Tour for like an insane amount of people.
Sixth show he had ever played was our first day of Warped Tour. Yeah, we were maybe asking a little too much.
But you guys shaped. It's kind of conceited to say this because he's in my band now, but you shaped a hell of a front man.
No, I tell him that every time I see you guys. Well, first off, I tell him every time I see you guys, like, how much better you guys have gotten as a band as a whole from, like, the first time we toured with you guys back in the day. But I also got a weird, Texas did the final show, like, a month after the TGI accident, and I had to sit it out. So I got to watch that show.
Oh, that's so weird. I knew you weren't on that tour, but I didn't think about you participating in the show.
Yeah, so I had to sit out that show, which was sad, but what I did get to see was like thinking about JT from like first day at Warped Tour to him that night. And I literally texted him afterwards and was like, dude, this is going to sound so cheesy, but I'm like genuinely proud of like how far you've come in such a short time. Like you've really like stepped up and owned the role, and like, you know, you've always had the voice, but now you have like the confidence on stage to go with the voice.
Yeah.
It's like he's a fucking hardworking dude, and he can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but it just makes me love him all that much more.
He is incredibly hardworking. His work ethic and like care for like dad like things on tour is great.
Yep.
Like he's the one that washes the van before tour because he knows none of us are gonna do it. Like, yeah.
Yep, he's the same way with Texas.
Yeah. Awesome, amazing dude to have in your band, by the way.
Yeah. He's the best. I fucking love him.
I do too. Shout out to JT. Well, man, I think we're getting towards the end here. Do you cook at all in your household?
Nope.
All right. Nope. Moving on.
Do you?
Yeah, I love cooking now.
Are you a cooking guy?
Yeah.
What the hell? I knew you were a coffee guy, but I didn't know you were a cooking guy.
I'm both. I gotta be as snobby about everything as I can be in my life, dude.
Oh, I fucking know. I should have fucking known better. God damn. Well, what's your favorite thing to cook then? Give me something that we.
You know what? For the first time I ever in my life, I made a vegetarian shepherd's pie, and that shit rocked my world.
Is that just like fucking tofu or some shit?
No. So it's like more of like a traditional vegetarian in the sense that it's like a lot of just sautéed vegetables. Like it was it was mushroom, carrot, onion, pepper. And then I made homemade mashed potatoes on top, and that was insane.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick.
And
I always back homemade mashed potatoes.
Yeah. I've never made homemade mashed potatoes, and I was really worried. But
you can't really fuck it up.
Well, I'm a snob, so like I wanted it to be like just legit. Like to me, the thing that you can mess up the easiest with mashed potatoes is texture.
Sure.
Because shitty texture mashed potatoes just suck. Like the flavor can be there, garbage. But yeah. But I got it there. Good.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, we don't really like. I mean, my wife can cook pretty well, but we're not like snobby food people. But I will say that throughout the pandemic, she's become obsessed with like MasterChef and like Gordon Ramsay and shit like that.
Oh, cool. So, yeah, that's awesome.
So she is trending in that direction.
Yeah.
But we're not typically like,
well, it's something I found through this quarantine because like there was a long period of time. Yeah, there's a long period of time where we couldn't go out to eat, and like if you order food every night, it sucks. It's so expensive.
Yep.
So
yeah, we definitely hit a point where we're like, I can't eat anything else out of a fucking box. We gotta do something.
Well, and so I started doing like a dinner subscription. Like they send you ingredients, and I learned how to cook through that. And I was just like, wow. What's so cool about the subscription is they're really on top of like spices that they send you. So like you'll cook with like fresh rosemary or thyme and stuff like that. And it was just like,
which one do you do?
HelloFresh.
Okay, we did Was it Blue Apron? We did Blue Apron for a little bit.
I did. I lived with my mom for a little bit years ago, and she did Blue Apron, so I got to participate. And that was I was like right around the time I was starting to be vegetarian, so I had like both of the sets of meals.
Word.
I literally was like, I want to get into dinner subscription, so I looked up. I just googled like best organic vegetarian friendly, because a lot of them, like if they have meat in every option, it's like, why waste your time?
Right.
And then there's another thing they sent me that I've become obsessed with is like this Korean rice bowl, bibimbap is what it's called. And it's like, yeah, it's like just vegetables with stir fry rice, but the rice is cooked in ginger, which is cool.
Okay.
And it's a sriracha heavy meal, which is cool.
Okay.
And then you have like a fried runny egg on top of this like rice bowl, and it's like pretty bomb.
That's sick.
So that's probably like one of my favorite things I make.
This is probably a dumbass question. This shows you how little I know about vegetarian and veganism. You can eat eggs as a vegetarian?
So I'm not vegan. I'm vegetarian.
But I'm saying you can eat eggs as a vegetarian.
Yes. Yeah. So vegan is like no animal byproduct. Yeah. Which I'm trying to get my own chickens, and they produce eggs no matter what. Like if you don't collect eggs from them, they still produce them. So even if I cook with vegan butter and mayonnaise and all that stuff, but I don't think I'll stop eating eggs. I really don't.
Fair enough.
Like even if I separate myself from like the corporate creation of harvesting and growing chickens for that reason, like I'll have my own, and I'm not gonna be worried about it. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And like my girlfriend growing up had like an aviary at her place, and she had like a duck that slept with her in bed for a couple of years. Like she just loves birds and animals, and like
that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
I back that.
Yeah. So we'll have chickens one day, but we're in a townhome right now. I just don't think it's gonna be.
Yeah, I don't think that'll work out so hot.
Yeah, we might. Situation. I don't know. We're in Alabama.
I mean, okay. I guess it's gonna work anywhere. It'll work there.
Yeah, right. There's my chickens. Don't worry about them. They wake you at 5 a.m? I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, I think you'll be all right. Yeah. I think they'll understand.
Maybe. Well, chat. Anyone watching, if you have any questions for Chris, ask now or forever hold your peace. Do you believe in aliens?
Yes.
Ooh, you were so quick to that. Why do you say that?
I do. It would just be. I just feel like it's crazy to not believe in aliens, man.
Okay,
so
like
much shit out there that we don't know.
So you think they're just out there at some vast area of space, or?
Sure, and we may never cross paths with them. I just think that it's so insane to not think that that's even a possibility.
Fair.
And that's like coming from a guy that's a Christian, and I'm still like, aliens are probably fucking real, man.
Yeah.
There's just no way that any of us on Earth can know the answer to that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna side on the fact of saying, yeah, more than likely.
I really almost believe that they've been here at one point.
Oh, I'm sure they have.
Yeah. Not they. Like I don't think there's like one specific sentient entity of beings out there, but like even to that degree, like if space is so vast and huge, there's probably millions of species everywhere.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's just so weird to think about.
Yep. I just also have a hard time like watching how our world has been for the past however many years and thinking that the human race is like the most advanced species in our universe. I just don't think that that's fucking possible.
Yeah, because we're fucking dumb as hell.
We are fucking garbage beings. All of us. We are a terrible existence.
What a lovely ending note.
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry, but I'm not sorry at all.
Yeah, I still meant it.
So my admin is a fan of y'all's. First of all, the new album is seriously album of the year for me. I'm so glad you guys are back.
No shit.
I was extremely heartbroken when I heard about the accident. I've been a fan since Fury dropped.
No shit.
he gives TGI a reason for why he's still alive. But coming from, and then he ends with this question: coming from a redneck town, did you guys have a take your tractor to work day? What the fuck, Keith?
They literally had a drive your tractor to school day at my school. I fucking shit you not. That's
okay,
real life.
I was so not ready for you to be humoring that question even at all.
I'm not making that up whatsoever either. That's a thing that happened at my school every year. And more kids than you would think would do it as well. Yep.
I'm bummed.
And you're the one that lives in the South.
Somehow this got more depressing than all humans are shit.
No. I mean, it's just no. Wait. This is just proof that all humans are shit. That's all. It's just Exhibit A. It's just Exhibit A. That's
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for the kind words, though. I'm glad he digs the album.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love that dude. He's like my Twitch admin. He'll probably be in yours plenty when you start going.
Yeah, come hang.
Shout out.
I'm shooting to try to start streaming next week. I'm waiting on some gear to come in from our storage unit. So as long as it's in by next week, I'll be starting next week.
Shout out to Keith. He's the boy. Well, Chris, this has been awesome, man.
Cool.
Is there anything you wanted to touch on, or?
No, just fucking be kind to each other.
Yeah.
Regardless of whatever the results are of this election, which we've danced around this interview without bringing up, let's just be kind to each other with whatever happens.
It's a hard thing for a lot of people to grasp these days, but
it's
I hate it. You know what? I will say something before we end.
Sure.
I don't think anyone, Republican or Democrat, has anyone's best intentions for the country. I think a two-party system is really a joke, and I don't know why we invest such personal and competitiveness in sides of what we want to win, because I like things about Republican reform and I like things about Democratic reform, but I hate having to pick between the two because there's things about both sides that I hate, you know?
Yep. I tend to find myself falling somewhere in between for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I lean a little bit more left on a lot of matters, but I definitely can understand where Republicans are coming from.
Yeah, right. I've never once heard that someone was one side and been like, well, you're a fucking piece of shit and I hate you. Like, that's crazy to me. That's insane.
Right.
Yeah. So be nice to everybody is a very good cliff note to end on.
Just be kind to everybody and come hang out when I start streaming on Twitch next week.
Yeah, I'll throw you in. So there's like a little auto host feature on Twitch, and I'll throw you in my channel for that. That way, if people are part of the podcast and saw this and want to see your Twitch, we'll get you involved.
That would be sick. You're the man.
Chris, I love you, buddy, and I miss you.
Love you too, man.
We'll play shows.
Hopefully it won't be like fucking 10 years before we get to see each other again. Maybe.
And I haven't seen a TGI show yet.
I talked to JT about maybe trying to make something happen with our bands at some point here soon. I can't make any promises.
Soon is a funny word.
Soon by as soon as the world opens.
I mean, obviously, we would be down, and
so I just want you to know that I have put in the word.
Yeah.
We'll just see if the world allows it to happen.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Right on.
Well, this is it. This is goodbye.
This is goodbye. I love you and thank you.
You're so shot, dude. I'll see you later.
Fuck. Okay, bye.